This is what you should never do. You never want to rely on the use of references too often. Now you're probably saying, well, why? Because references are good, which they are. But what is dangerous about references is that it does the work for you. If you rely on references too often, you can kiss your creativity goodbye. And I'm dead serious, because references, although they're a framework, they make things kind of too easy. It's like having a big brother or a parent that's always there guiding your every step, and you don't have to worry about anything. And you become reliant on references so much that when you don't have references, you don't even know what to do. You don't know where to start. You're lost. And that is what you have to avoid. You absolutely have to avoid that happening, because if you lose that creativity, you will become handicapped at art. It will be the equivalent of like always needing a crutch, always needing training wheels to do the simplest of things. And you might think that I'm exaggerating or overreacting about it, but I am so serious. If you rely on references too often, the next time that you try and draw something out of your head, your mind and your body will be waiting on that reference, because it won't know where to start. It won't know what brushstrokes to do. It won't know anything, because you're constantly using references. So then you might ask, well, if you can't use references, what the hell are you gonna do? Because you want your art to look good, and for that you need references. And it's very simple. It's very simple. You have to use references in a smart way. What do I mean by this? By this I mean you have to use references only as a guidepost. So you draw what it is you want to draw, and if you suspect it looks a little funky, which 9 times out of 10 that's what it'll look like, it'll look a little funky unless you're a grandmaster, which they exist, but they're rare, and we all want to become them. However, the vast majority of us aren't grandmasters. So after you realize your drawing is looking funky, you're gonna say, okay, I have to now find a reference so that I can use and improve what it is I've already drawn. I did not say that you're gonna use the reference and trace, or you're gonna use the reference and just Xerox and completely clone it. No. You're just gonna use it as a reference. That's what it is, as a guide. So you get your reference and you look at your sketch or whatever it is that you draw, and you look and try and pinpoint the funky part. And how you know what's funky is your mind will tell you, because every day you see real references. Especially, let's say you're drawing a human, you see humans all around. So when you draw, you're gonna say, wait a minute, this is a little off. And that's how you know you found the little funky part that you want to fix. You're gonna look for a reference that is very close to what it is you've drawn. For example, if you're drawing someone lying down, you're gonna just go to Google, type someone lying down, person lying down, whatever. You're gonna get a plethora of references. The next thing you want to do is compare your drawing to the references that you see, and whichever one matches closest to what you've drawn, you're gonna take that and you're gonna If you can, put them side by side and just analyze where in your drawing you went wrong. And that's it. No, I'll give you even more pro tips with this. This is how you actually increase your creativity. You're gonna find references, you're gonna draw them to the T, you're gonna copy them this time, Xerox them. When you're done copying them, what you wanna do now, and it'll take like maybe 8 tries even to get it perfect, but you're not necessarily trying to get it perfect. But what you want to do is draw that reference out of your head. Draw that reference from memory and see how good you can do that. The first time, it won't look good, I'm telling you. The second time, third time, nah. The fourth, it'll start looking a little better. The fifth, you're getting somewhere. The sixth time, yes, it's coming along. 7, you better be looking good right now. And 8 is when you'll realize that you've learned that reference. So you're gonna do this exercise every now and then to just keep your creativity alive, because I'm telling you, if you're drawing a lot using references, you won't know when it happens, but it will happen. You will become so reliant on references that the simplest thing for you to draw will be very difficult. It will be so difficult because you need that crutch. Another thing that you don't necessarily want to happen is you don't want to be drawing things the same way all the time. So if you're used to starting a drawing with the head, you want to stop doing that all the time. You want to maybe start with an arm, start with a leg. This will teach your mind how to draw pictures from different starting points. It'll also teach you how things are connected within that one picture. Like if it's anatomy and you start with a leg, that leg has to connect to the torso, right? That torso then connects to the arms and the head. So you'll start to see just how connected everything is, and that in turn will improve your drawing capability by a lot. And keep it up, and before you know it, you won't need to rely on references so much. Will you ever 100% not need references? It's possible. As I said, if you become that grandmaster, you could be like that. But I wouldn't bet on it. You'll probably be like that at the end of your life if you continue day in, day out to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. Maybe you can achieve that grandmaster skill, but I don't think you have that much time right now. And maybe you want to improve right now so that you can, whether it is earn more with art or just draw better stuff, draw things that are more enjoyable, then you should consider what I'm telling you about references. Because it's a slippery slope. I remember myself, like, whenever I felt burnt out, it was me not realizing that I had become so dependent on references that drawing things out of my own mind was agonizing. It was terrible. It was like looking for a place and you don't even know the roads. You can't read the road signs or nothing, and you're just lost, and it sucks, and I don't want that for you guys. So use your references wisely, because as I said, you'll never ever be completely independent of references until you're that super duper grandmaster. But until then, use them wisely. Use your own thoughts with the references. And that's pretty much all you have to do. Don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for that easygoing life. Sometimes you need a kick in the ass. I ain't even gonna lie. Alright? Sometimes you need to just do things yourself and stop having people hold your hand. Stop having these things hold your hand. It's important. It's really important. And in this journey, it's the small things that make a difference. It's the small things that we do every day that matters. I know it's not art per se, but there's a book called The Compound Effect. It's a self-help book. It doesn't really have anything to do with art other than it can be applied to art. It can be applied to anything. And if you read that book, it will tell you that over time, the small things that you do, they add up. They add up greatly. And especially if you're consistent, then it'll be expounded or compounded on one another. So yeah, do the right thing and use references wisely. Another thing that will help you get rid of the use of references, or will wean you off of reference use, is studying actual anatomy. And I myself, I love anatomy. I love seeing other people use correct anatomy, but I loathe learning anatomy, and I don't know why. It's just really boring to me. It's really boring, and it's tedious. It's hella tedious, especially the skeletal structure. I don't plan on joining any skeletons anytime soon. But if you can just get past the mundane aspect of learning anatomy and really learning muscle groups and the damn bones, then references will slowly become a thing of the past. You will start to inch closer to that grandmaster level when you learn these things, and you'll be happy. You'll be a lot happier once you've done that, because your creativity will explode. You're gonna start drawing characters doing all types of crazy crap or crazy-ish, and it will look realistic, and it will work. It will work. And I mean, even in perspective, that's another thing. Like, everybody knows how difficult drawing in perspective can be, and references do help a lot in terms of drawing in perspective. But if you can study anatomy and perspective itself, which is a whole nother topic, it's a whole nother ball game, but if you can get it down, you will be so much better than you are now, and you'll even surprise yourself at how much better just learning those few things can make you. So yeah, I mean, I think I've said what I wanted to say in the regard to references. So for the rest of the video, I might just ramble, and I have a few more minutes to go. I'm actually watching the drawing proceed so that I can time myself. But yeah, let me think about what else you should not do or never do. But we know tracing doesn't really help you at all, so I would say don't do that. Copying style, I wouldn't. That's another thing. Don't copy anyone's style. You can learn from people's style, but I've seen people who do well copying other style, but then I think to myself, what if you didn't copy their style? What would your style be? What would your style be? Nobody wants to be a clone of somebody else. That's played out. There's too many clones running about the place right now. real clones and metaphoric clones. They're here. Okay, don't be one. So to avoid the whole attack of the clone thing, you need to develop your own style. And how do you develop your own style? It's simple. And it actually goes back to references. Use references of real things, like real life things. And then you want to not be too close to the reference, but just see how you draw it. And you can draw it multiple times. The first time, you can draw it exactly as you see it. The second time, add a little exaggeration here or there, add a little flavor, add a little style. Maybe, make a body part bigger than it should be, if you get my drift. And yeah, you'll start seeing your style. You start think about this. Think about what you feel when you look at a particular picture, whether it be a person or a building. What do you feel when you look at that? And then you want to hone in on that feeling and try and emphasize it. So if you feel, let's say you look at someone and you feel a sense of power or strength from that person, when you're drawing that person, you're gonna make them look even more powerful and more strong than what they actually are. Whether it is drawing bigger muscles, the stance is very important. Give them a wider stance, make them take up more space in the photo that you're drawing, in the picture that you're drawing, and they will come off looking stronger. And then in doing that, you're gonna see your style starting to peak out. And do that enough and you'll be able to recreate your style very easily on command, which at the end of the day, that's what we all want. We want to draw things on command. We want to be able to just create out the blue, create masterpieces out the blue. And these are the little things that will get us to do that. So I think I've rambled enough to satisfy the length of this video, and I think you let me know in the comments, but I think I've given you kind of a pro tip in terms of not relying too much on references. And this is something that happened to me, so that's how I know how dangerous it can be, and that's why you should never do it. If you guys enjoyed this and you want to learn more stuff, I have a bunch of tutorials that are posted in the Telegram group. I'll put the link in the description. You guys should come over and just check out the stuff that's there. You can learn a lot by doing these tutorials every day. Every day you do one tutorial or whatever. So yeah, and also let me know something that you've found in your art that either improves your creativity or if it decreases your creativity, and you want others to watch out, because there are things you will know that we won't. I won't know everything that you have found out about art, so I'm eager to learn more things every day. So drop a comment about that thing that has affected your art, whether positive or negative, and let's all grow. Let's all become better at what we do and what we love to do. Alright guys, I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Whatever it is that you're gonna do, just do it better.